Alright, what's up everybody? I was wanting to do another iPhone unboxing. We're going to go back to my very first smartphone, and that's none other than the iPhone 3GS we have right here. The iPhone 3GS was innovative for the iPhone for nothing else other than it was able to do video recording. And that's what attracted me to the 3GS. Because when the original iPhone came out, it wasn't even on my radar. I was still using a flip phone. Then when the 3G came out, I was more interested because that's when iOS 2 came out, the App Store, and all this other stuff. So it was more interesting to me that we now have an ecosystem of apps. But I was still on contract with my flip phone, because back in those days you had 2-year contracts. My contract expired I want to say about July of 2009. And so then I was like, okay, well, we can actually start considering things. So I was doing some research and I was like, yeah, iPhone is definitely the way to go. So went to AT&T. It was probably August of 2009 and picked up my iPhone 3GS in black. So we'll go ahead and open up the box and see what all contents may be inside of it. The box is not complete, unfortunately. But so we have the phone. We have the standard charging brick. We have the now very yellowed charging cable. And we have the iPhone standard headphones. So, unfortunately, I don't have the instruction manual or any of that other stuff. So we'll set all that aside. And here we have the iPhone. Now I'll go ahead and power it on. And we wait. This iPhone is running the most up-to-date software available on the 3GS, so it is running iOS 6.1.3. I was hoping that there'd be a way to downgrade, but unfortunately, even in 2019, there still is no way to downgrade. So, whatever. We're stuck with iOS 6. There we go. Okay, it's alive now. So, here's a screen. There was a camera button here, and we can slide up, and now we have the camera. And shoots beautiful, I want to say it's 2 megapixel photos. So we can get a shot of everything going on here. There we go. We can even put it in video mode, so we can shoot some video. Okay, we're shooting video. Can I zoom on video? No, I can't. So we can't even zoom on video. What you see is what you get. Anyway, I'll go ahead and kill that. So we'll go back to the lock screen. So with the original iOS, they had this slide to unlock thing. And this was one of the things that Steve Jobs went ape crazy over, is a slide to unlock, because Android copied it and he just completely lost his mind. Anyway, we just simply slide to unlock and we've got our phone unlocked. So as you can see, it's running iOS 6 because we have Passbook, we have Game Center, we have folders and that kind of thing. I thought it was kind of interesting if we look at folders, how folders is set up. I just think that's kind of interesting how it's just kind of like a drawer. It just kind of slides out. Let me open up some apps here. So we got the clock open, we got weather open, we got notes open, we got maps open. Okay, so we have all these apps open. Now, for those of you who didn't use an older iOS 6, we're talking 4, 5, or 6. So if we want to get the multitasking on the old OS, when we double tap the home button, it slides up these apps. So we can scroll through our open apps and find what we want to look at, so we can go into the maps. So yeah, looking here at the Maps app, I thought this is kind of interesting that it has this like kind of pill up thing where you can look at. Just so weird because, you know, whenever they fired Forstall or whatever his name was, they did away with all this stuff, the paper and that kind of thing. But I thought that was kind of interesting. And the maps are brought to you by TomTom, ladies and gentlemen. You're probably thinking, well, how do I clear out the apps? Because we just have this list of apps. Well, how you clear the apps out is you have to hold it and wait in there, and then we can start clearing apps out. So we can start getting rid of apps like that. So I thought that was kind of interesting. Now another thing I thought was interesting is I can access Spotify on here. So let's pull up some Spotify and jam out. So what do we listen to? We can do a search. How about some Teenage Wrist? There they are. Boom. That's a good one. Do some shuffle play here. Look at that. And I can even reduce it. And it's still playing in the background. Now how do I pull it up while it's down in the background? I can come over here. I can pause it, play it. I can skip a song. I can go back. So, yeah, there you go. You get the point there. Okay, and we can also go ahead and look at the stock music player. Play some Streets of Rage. And of course, you can put in cover flow, where you can kind of browse other, albums and that kind of thing. And of course, multitask just like you would expect a smartphone to do. And of course, you can come over here and pause it, put on repeat. We can change the volume. And this also had a notification panel, so we can slide down, we can get our notifications. There's the stock market. NASDAQ's at 8143, S&P 500's at 2997, Apple's at 235. Okay. We can also go to weather, but I thought this is kind of funny because the weather is sourced from Yahoo Weather, and apparently Yahoo Weather is no longer functional now, so basically the weather app is pretty much useless. And of course, you can download external weather apps, but I just thought it was interesting that the weather app itself is no longer useful. And of course, have iMessage so I can bug the wife. She's been bugging me, and sending her pictures of the cats. There we go. I thought this was kind of interesting. I forgot about the old message, how it would take forever to send. So I'll just send her a quick message real quick. Notice there's this progress meter at the top. Actually, it goes quicker with that. If I were to send a photo, I'll just take a photo here of the glass. There we go. We can use that. So I'll send this, and we can watch the progress meter take forever and a day to send it. Good old-fashioned MMS. There we go. We can go to the App Store here. Let's download an app. What app can we download? We can try, can I get Maps? There we go. Okay, we can do Maps. Look at the speed of this. Holy cow. Where'd it go? There we go. Look at that. Just taking forever and a day. Oh my gosh. So here's something I wanted to show. So we can, I have my iPhone 11 here. And so here's the iPhone 3GS screen compared to the iPhone 11. It's almost exactly as tall as it is wide. I mean, look at this. Look at this. It basically dwarfs the screen. I mean, the screen is almost twice the size of the 3GS. It's just quite incredible. You can look at iBooks, and of course it takes forever and a day to do anything. There we go. So we can pull up the Steve Jobs biography by Walter Isaacson, which, for those of you who haven't read, it's an absolute fantastic read. Just amazing. Oh, and the wife is responding. And of course it's taking forever. No. So I'll tell her, say hi to the camera. Oh, brother. Anyway, we can go back to the biography, as it takes forever. There we go. So, just a fantastic biography. She says hello. Good grief. Anyway, so what other fun things can we look at? We can look at Safari and see how Safari looks. So, yeah, if I want to open up a new tab. Oh, gosh, she sent in an emoji. Oh. There we go. Anywho, go back to Safari. If we want to open up a new tab, it actually like pulls out this new page. So then, you know, I can go. Let's go to the Tooth and Nail website on the iPhone 3GS, as it takes forever to load in. That's the thing that you have to appreciate about the iPhone 3GS is it takes absolutely forever to load everything in. It's just it's insane. Remember back in the day? No, you don't. So back in the day when I originally got this sucker, you would type in a website, and there was actually like really truncated mobile sites it would take you to that were like very low graphic, and it was basically just text. So it was almost like surfing the web in 1996, where everything was just text-based. But this is kind of cool. So speaking of Tooth and Nail, I was able to sideload the oldest app that I own on my PC, and it was dated as August 13th, 2009. And it's actually the Tooth and Nail app. So we can go ahead and launch that. There we go. And I thought that this app would be completely just dead. But not so much. We can actually listen to music on this sucker still. So I don't know if it's streaming this or if the music is actually loaded up in the app itself. The music could be in the app itself. There we go. So yeah, you can kind of surf around the app. You can go to videos, see if there's any videos to watch. This is actually sourcing current information. We have Post Malone cover by Loyals. This is brand new. This is still like brand new stuff. Oh my gosh. Is it gonna play? I don't think it's gonna play. This is pretty incredible. I thought that this app would be completely dead. Well, anyway, I don't know. I'm not going to screw around with that much longer, but I just thought that was kind of interesting. We can even play games. So here's a pretty old game that I have by Atari. Deer Hunter, folks. We have Deer Hunter. Tap anywhere to play. Got him! Got him! Yeah, buddy. No animals were killed. Well, dadgummit. Of course, that's a demo, so you have to get the full version. Yeah, and also we have Real Director. So, I remember for a little bit, I was actually trying to make YouTube videos on my phone using Real Director. So you would come to the project, and we can go plus video, and I'll add the video that I recorded earlier. Choose compressing video. Do it right there. We'll trim. There we go. Okay, that's how you do it. And then there. And then done. Keep original. Okay, so there we go. So I should be able to go back here and hit play, and then I can play through what I've recorded. But yeah, so I would. There was a time when I was actually cutting YouTube videos on my iPhone using Real Director. This is before iMovie. I mean, we're talking 2009, folks. So this is before iMovie was an app on the phone, and you had to use third-party apps to do it. And then, of course, we can go to our Dunkin' Donuts app. Of course, I have a Dunkin' Donuts app on my actual phone. So we can go to Commerce and Dunkin' Donuts. There we go. And boom, we're already in. Yeah, that's the thing is trying to use apps on the 3GS. It's just really, really tiring experience. Holy cow. But yeah, I don't know if there's much else to kind of show off on the 3GS. I think I've pretty much shown everything that's of interest anyway. You know, if we go into notes and go to make a new note, it's kind of interesting how the old notepad is, because, like, you know, actually, I prefer the text this way. I could be a power texter with this phone. And then I get this piece of junk. Try to text the old wife. So if I put it in this way, I don't know. I mean, I guess I kind of can, but I don't know. With the old one, I don't know. It just seemed like you're just really crunched in. With this, it's much more spread out. See, I don't know. I prefer this screen size. This screen size is just perfect for texting. Because, you know, I could just hold it like this and just go to town. Just go to town. Just go to town. Oh well. So I want to share kind of a story. So in 2007, the wife and I, we got married. So that tells you just basically, like, kind of dating myself there, that our marriage is as old as modern smartphones. We got married just a couple months after the iPhone first went on sale. And her and I were using flip phones for the first 2 years of our marriage, from 07 to 09. In 08, basically a year after we got married, our finances were absolute garbage. I just bought a brand new car in 2007, and so we were upside down in this car loan, paying like almost $400 a month on this car loan. And then the rent, it was another, shoot, what was the rent? I think the rent was like $500 or maybe it was $450. Regardless of which, we were really, really struggling to make it financially. She had some friends back home. She's from East Tennessee, so from her house to here, it's like 1,200 miles. It's like 15-hour drive. Anyway, she had some friends back home who were running a Halloween store. And they told her, if you come out and work, we can work you 50 hours a week. We can work you as much as you want. And they were also willing to pay her, I think, like $8 an hour, which was much more than she was making here. And so she decided to jump on that. So she goes back to Tennessee, and she's working there with them. And so, like, basically our first wedding anniversary, we didn't even spend together because she was in Tennessee and I was in Oklahoma. So we didn't even see each other for our 1-year wedding anniversary. And it was kind of rough because she had a flip phone, I had a flip phone. She was up in the hillbilly mountains of Tennessee, couldn't get reception for garbage. And so the only time I could ever talk to her was when she was in town at work. But she's at work, so she can't talk because she's at work. It was kind of rough, to be honest. So she left here at the end of August 2008 and got the job there. And she worked there until about November 3rd or 4th. And that's when she came back. So, I mean, it was a temp job. We knew that going in. It would just be a few months or whatever. But still, anyway, so she was gone, and it was pretty rough. We really couldn't communicate whatsoever. The communication was at a bare bone. So she comes back. We both get a job working at a warehouse at this point. And so we were both working graveyards at a warehouse, making a little bit more money. It was a little bit more manageable, but it wasn't that much more manageable. The next year came along, and her friend said, well, hey, if you want to come back out, we can do the same arrangement again. So, again, our finances were garbage still. So she's like, yeah, I guess I'll go back out. So she goes back out. Before she left, now it's been 2 years. This is 2009. And our AT&T contract had expired. So I said, well, hey, why don't we go down to AT&T and get new phones? And maybe we can, send each other pictures and that kind of thing, because we both have flip phones. You can't do jack crap with a flip phone. We couldn't even text. We didn't even have a texting plan. So the first 2 years of our marriage, from 2007 to 2009, all we could do is call, and that's it. No data, no texting, just calling, that's it. And that really gives everybody an idea of the situation that we were in, and just how long ago that was. I mean, everybody watching, can you imagine not texting? I mean, that's just the time. Anywho, so I was like, we can go down, we can get some new phones, we can add texting, we can add data, we'll be able to send each other pictures, we might be able to send each other, quick video clips of what we're doing and that kind of thing. It'd be kind of cool. So we go down to AT&T, and I go ahead and I choose the iPhone 3GS. She wasn't so struck on the touchscreen. She wasn't sold on the touchscreen yet. So she got a LG Xenon, which is essentially basically kind of like the T-Mobile Sidekick, for those of you who are ancient and remember those. It was a slide-out phone with a QWERTY keyboard that you could text on. You could record video and do pictures and that kind of thing. But it wasn't a smartphone per se. It had a browser and you could surf the web, but it didn't have an app store and that. So she goes with that phone. And so she goes to Tennessee. Now, let me enlighten you guys on the state of iOS in 2009. So they just released iOS 3. And the promise of that time was they were going to release iOS 3.1 by the end of summer. And the revolutionary thing about iOS 3.1 was iOS 3.1 would allow you to do multimedia messaging. For iOS 1, iOS 2, and iOS 3, so the first 3 iterations of iOS, you could not text pictures or video or audio. All you could do was send text messages, SMS. You could not send any MMS. So the only way we got around MMS in the olden days is we would send an email to their mobile carrier email address. So basically, say for instance, your phone number is 555-2424. So we would send an email to 555-2424 at att.msg.net. And so when you sent that email to that address, the other person would receive it as an MMS. And so if I was on iOS 3, iOS 1, 2, or 3.0, and I wanted to receive a MMS, then they had to text message the picture to that to my email address. So I would get multimedia messages as an actual email in the email app. So, they would take a picture of the cat, and then they would send it as an email with an attachment. Or, I'm sorry, they would send it as a multimedia message, an MMS, but instead of sending it to a phone number, they're actually sending it to an email address. And then it just comes to my email app, so I'm able to open up. So the first month of me having the iPhone, that's how me and my wife were able to send pictures and other things to, kind of share what we're doing with the day, was through that just ridiculous garbage system. And on September 20th, 2009, or maybe it was September 22nd, 2009, because I remember it was either the first or second day of fall, iOS 3.1 went live, and I was able to update my phone. And at that point, I was able to send real, legit MMS multimedia messaging through text message app, through the Messages app to her. And that opened a whole floodgate of communication with people who had an iPhone, because at this point, now we can just take a picture and just straight up send it. Or I can record a video of what the cat's doing because she left the cat here. So I was able to, here's what she's doing. She's rolling around being silly. Here's a video. Send it to her real quick, a 5-second video. So back in the olden days, it was really interesting being on the iPhone, being on iOS, and literally seeing technology change before our eyes. Because the very first iPhone, all it could do was just picture, and it was 2G. It wasn't even 3G, it was Edge. For those of you who are too young to know what Edge is essentially a step above dial-up. So on Edge, you're basically getting roughly about 700 kilobits a second, roughly. And then 3G bumped it up to about 2.5 to 3.5 megabits a second. So when the second iPhone came out, the iPhone 3G, that was a revolutionary thing, because now we're actually getting 3G speeds on this communication device in our pocket. And then when the 3GS came out, it was basically the 3G except with a better processor. And at that point, the camera could record video. So the original iPhone and the iPhone 3G could not record video. The 3GS was the first one to record video. And I remember going and seeing The Chariot live on Halloween night 2009. And I went with my friend Cody. And he had an iPhone 3G. And I had a 3GS. And I was able to record some video of The Chariot. And I remember he was kind of bummed out because all he could do is take pictures, whereas I could record. But at any rate, I just wanted to do this quick video because I thought it'd just be kind of cool to open it up and explore the iPhone 3GS as today and kind of look at some apps and kind of look at some other things. But I just thought it was kind of interesting to take that, kind of history lesson to what me and my wife were going through at that time, to how we could communicate. And that was basically the whole reason we even got, better phones, was because that first year was garbage that she was gone. So that was the last year that we did that particular arrangement, because shortly right after, I got a job at a call center, and I was making like $10 an hour, and we're talking 2009. $10 an hour is actually pretty good for just crawling out of the recession. So I was able to be making better money. and she was able to get a job at the call center with me shortly after, and so we were both, making $10 an hour, so not dramatically fixing, so she never did a Halloween shop after that, but I kind of have, fond memories of that time, because it was kind of a time of self-discovery. I'm newly married, but the wife's not with me, and so I was trying new things with YouTube. I was trying to figure out how to do new things. I was recording video with the iPhone. I had a JVC Everio hard disk drive camcorder I was using to record with that too. So I was doing a lot of digital video recording back in that time, and I was learning video editing as well. So it was actually that time that really kind of got me interested, I guess, in video work, and is, why I work at a TV station right now is basically because of that 3-month period where I was all alone. And I guess as another segue, basically when I was working at the warehouse, we worked 12-hour shifts, and I worked every other day. So essentially my day was 48 hours long. So usually I work a 12-hour shift at the warehouse. I come home and I eat something. I watch some TV. I go to bed, and I wouldn't even set an alarm. I'd sleep as long as I wanted to. I wake up, and now I have like 18 hours. I can do whatever the heck I want. So for the next 18 hours, I was basically just screwing around with YouTube and learning video recording, learning editing software, other things like that. So basically that entire time really gave me an opportunity to get interested in what is now, I guess, basically my career. So I guess that's really all I wanted to talk about as far as that goes. I just wanted to do a quick unboxing. This is actually a really good condition iPhone 3GS, for the quality and for what it is. So it's pretty exciting about that. But yeah, I guess thanks for watching my stupid unboxing, and peace out.